Hello and welcome to I Choose You, the podcast about cooking and eating Pokemon. My name is Jeremy Zelek. I'm the host and Alton Brown of the group. Joining me this week, as always, is...
your friend on the show, Ben Montoya.
Ian Davis, the Emma Curtis of the show.
And currently in the WeWork that is in my house, Evan Aubrey.
Whoa, roasted.
No, it's all good. Tori's just finishing up some work.
Yeah. In the meantime, let's get down to fucking brass tacks. Okay. Quickly, do you have a beverage that you wish to share with the audience, everybody? I have a mango LaCroix.
Mango.
Yeah.
I'm going lemon spindrift. Ugh.
Lemon Spindrift. Nice.
I've got some New Mexico Tea Company brand chamomile tea.
Ooh,
The mug is huge.
The giant
That's so
stein.
interesting that you say that because I have some New Mexico Tea Company brand cardamom tea, not chamomile tea.
Is that what you're drinking right now, or is it
That's what I'm drinking right now in my cup of raccoon riding a skateboard.
Nice. Excellent.
If this tea wasn't so good, I would have done a spit take, knowing that we're drinking this.
Can't waste my precious fluids. I would need at least a still suit to like handle that if I was spit taking.
No spit takes on Dune.
Yeah, they won't allow you. Anyway, so I think there's something very important that we need to talk about right now, which is that I've got a very important piece of news, which is that the Switch 2 will have one of the Joy-Cons can be used as a mouse.
This is important news.
Wait, what?
Like used as a mouse. Like, can I browse the web on it as a mouse? Or am I like plugging this into my laptop?
Imagine you're playing a video game on Switch 2. We know Civilization 7 is going to be on it.
Sure.
And that's a game that would be good for a mouse, moving a cursor around, clicking. Well, you take one of the Joy-Cons off, and you turn it sideways, and you have, like, your knee or whatever, and you, like, scroll around on it, and you click with the triggers on it as, like, the left and right click.
Oh, so I can move it around like this?
Yeah, you move it around on a surface, like your knee.
Oh,
What the
okay.
hell?
Yeah.
For some reason, I was thinking that when you were saying one of the Joy-Cons is a mouse, it was like you would use a regular Joy-Con like for a cursor. Like the cursor would be controlled by the Joy-Con, which
You could.
just sounds like backwards thinking,
Yeah.
right? Like counterintuitive.
Yeah,
But
so-
this is interesting.
So imagine like the optical sensor on the bottom of the mouse is on the inside of the Joy-Con that connects to the Switch, and that you put that face down on a surface like your knee, and you can like move it like a mouse, and it will move a cursor around.
How thick are these Joy-Cons? Are they like
they're-
ergonomic computer game mice?
They are
Like,
going to be about 30% larger than the current Switch Joy-Cons.
No, Ben, your wrists are going to be destroyed.
Yeah.
Can,
is this why?
instead of having like,
What if you want to click?
instead of having the normal like joystick, can I get a version that's like the ball tracker?
Oh, yeah, it's a ball mouse.
A ball mouse?
Yeah.
The
Just
ThinkPad nub.
Yeah, you could definitely put a nub,
Twiddle
a
that
nipple, a ball in like the socket for the analog stick, and I think that'd be fun. Gonna bring back fucking Marble Madness. That's what I'm saying.
How about that bowling game?
Wii bowling?
No. PC. You know that bowling game?
PC
And you had to
bowling.
like
Oh, yeah, you
move
had to
the
shove
mouse
yes.
to get the ball
Yeah,
going.
and like use the
That's
trackball to like push the ball forward.
Oh, whoa.
That was the good shit.
Yeah.
That sounds like a good way to break a bunch of computer mice.
Do you think anyone had a mouse where that trackball was like a bowling ball, like a tiny bowling ball? It had like three little holes drilled into it.
And then you took it out and used it on a tiny bowling alley.
That's what I'm
that you
saying.
had right next to it. It's like I don't know, like those tiny golf sets that you can play on the toilet or whatever. You know what I'm talking about.
Sure.
Okay.
Anyway,
I think
So
there's,
is this because Nintendo's trying to like do like a PC gaming, console gaming hybrid thing? Like what is it? Why would you need a mouse?
Well, I
guess?
think there are undoubtedly some games that work better with mouse input. Like, I would say, for example, Civilization.
You mentioned this, but
yeah.
but Nintendo stuff is not known for running Civilization anything.
Yeah,
it's
but
known
Civilization
for doing Mario.
7 is coming to the Nintendo Switch.
Whether we like it or not.
Yes, that's true. Civilization, finally, it's fucking civilized in here. Fucking got Gandhi and Abraham Lincoln. They're class this fucking joint up a little bit. But yeah, so that game is coming to the Nintendo family of hardware. So they need a fucking mouse to click. You know what
They're
I'm saying?
shaping the Switch 2 around Sid Meier's Civilization 7. That's what you're saying on this podcast right now.
Sid Meier's Switch 2.
Yes, Sid Meier's Pirates Switch 2.
The UI is just going to be written in Simlish.
Yes.
Wow. So maybe this is like kind of like soft launching the like Sid Meier's takeover of Nintendo. Like,
Yes.
did Miyamoto-san sign over everything to Sid Meier?
I mean,
I gotta call my best friend Sid.
all these companies are merging these days.
Yes.
You know, the Sid Corporation might be hurting.
Sid Corp.
Yeah.
I believe the company that makes Civilization is called.
Sid Corp. We went over this.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, you're right. No, it's not. It's nothing else. Sid Corp. I believe Sid Meier still technically works on these games. At least he hangs out there and is like, yeah, you put some fucking guys and they go from hexagon to hexagon, and he's like, boom, you got it. That's all you need.
Are you guys excited for Sid Meier's MILF Hunter?
Oh,
yeah.
Sid Meier's Waluigi MILF
MILF
Hunter.
Hunter, yeah.
Right.
So I think
RPG.
Sid Meier's MILF Hunter is more of, again, a strategy game, whereas Waluigi MILF Hunter is more of a visual novel, interactive experience in that front.
Right.
The MILFs in Sid Meier's game are much more hexagonal, and then
Well, you have to upgrade your MILFs
yes,
throughout the game.
yeah, and when you get one, that's a cultural victory.
Yeah. Always is.
Oh God. So, like, but so is Mario going to be like a point and click adventure now? Like, why do we need the mouse? I just don't get it. Like, what is this? What is the advantage of having the mouse?
Fashion comes in waves, as we all know, right?
Yeah.
Like 90s are back in style.
Yeah,
Mice
Well,
are
everyone
back
has
in.
gaming computers now, right? It's
Yeah.
not like we like. What are they trying to do here? I guess.
But they want to
and
stream
you don't have
their
to answer that
games
question
from
right
their
now,
gaming
Jeremy.
computer to the cloud so they can play it
yeah.
on the go.
yes. Ben, I'm gonna level with you. I don't have an answer.
Tilt controls out.
Mouse controls.
Mouse controls.
Imagine you're playing Mario Kart and you have to steer by like aiming a mouse like down the screen.
But off your leg,
Yeah.
Yeah.
not in the air.
Like, do we need Nintendo mouse pads now?
Yeah, and they conform to the shape of your knee.
Or
Yeah,
it's,
and it's like a knee table that you have that you
It's just
can
gonna be-
put it on.
It's pants made out of like mouse pad material.
Oh yeah, they're like
I mean-
really thick, uncomfortable pants.
Or the most comfortable pants. They're padded.
Just-
Very well insulated.
It raises more questions than it answers. But it does intrigue me. You're right. I did say what, and that's how you led. That's how you sold me on this.
Sid Meier says what?
Yes. I hope they fucking kick whoever is announcing the Switch 2 out, like the president of Nintendo, I forget his name, and it's just like, it's me, Sid. I'm in charge now. I'm clicking everywhere. All games are now about clicking.
The next Nintendo Direct.
Yes. You know they have that like snap sound for the Switch? It's the click sound now.
Oh, they've been preparing us for years.
Oh,
Just grooming us.
Yeah.
I don't like this. Something unsettles me about this.
So, anyway, and guys, we're so fucking close. Like, this fucking thing has been leaking left and right. You can see images of it all over the internet, and it's like fucking crazy. Get this, it's all black now, except the inside of the analog sticks are blue and orange.
Guys, what's the over-under on, like, when this thing comes out, Jeremy's just going to go, it's cool.
When the Switch 2 comes out, well, first of all, this is what I'm going to do is, like, when I know that it's coming out, I'm going to have a fucking Best Buy page open on one of my monitors, and I'm just going to hit F5 on it until they say I can buy a Switch 2, and I'm going to make sure my credit card information is already saved.
You're not going to line up at Best Buy and get one like you did for me and with Michael Woods?
Yeah.
Or was that Ian?
Wow.
Was that Ian? That was Ian. Yeah. That was Ian.
Yeah.
That's wild.
You gave us $300 cash, and we went to Best Buy and bought you a Switch.
Evan, I'm going to call it here. Jeremy's the first one to get the Switch 2. And he's going to talk at us for like 30 minutes about it. And at the end of it, he's going to be like, yeah, it's all right.
Yeah, he'll spoil everything about it and be like, yeah, it's fine.
Yeah, a Switch 2 will fall off the back of a truck. I'll have the new Mario Kart game or Mario or whatever on it. And I'll like be on the show and I'll be like in front of my face and like you'll see in the reflection of my glasses Mario jumping into his great new adventure. But then I'll lower it, not turning it around. And it's gonna be a whole like kind of like reveal with it in a reveal. It's like that post that Nathan Fielder did where he was like, this is so funny, and he's like looking at his phone and there's like porn reflected in the glasses that he's looking at on his phone kind of situation.
Nice.
So anyway, that's my news on the Switch 2. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk.
And
I didn't expect it.
yeah,
that's for sure.
But Ben,
Yeah.
I think you have some other news.
Yeah, Ben's got bigger news, I think, or more exciting news.
Well, I did go on a trip with my family. Surprised the hell out of my dad for his 60th birthday by meeting him and my mom in Hawaii with a bunch of my other family members, which was a crazy experience, honestly. I've never surprised someone by flying thousands of miles to an island that neither of us have ever been to, and then like seeing them just like show up at a restaurant. So understandably, my dad was like completely floored away. And then we had an awesome, like, several, kind of basically like a long weekend trip out there, which was very cool. Obviously, like, traveling and tourism in Hawaii is a little bit controversial, but I do think there are some really great ways to do it, as far as what I was able to see through doing a bunch of research and, like, going through different parts of where we were visiting in Kauai. And the thing that is most relevant, obviously we saw a bunch of amazing, crazy nature things and beautiful beaches and like just incredible, like physical place. But for this show, the most enticing things probably are going to be the food and drink that happened along the way.
Yes.
Which are like friends that you make along the way in a certain sense.
Yes, this poke bowl is my friend.
I had a lot of poke bowls, one at the airport in Honolulu, which, okay, side tangent. Honolulu Airport, best airport in America. I just have to say.
Oh, okay.
How so?
It's incredible. The whole thing is basically kind of organized in a loop around a like outside central garden with like these lush trees and like really cool like weird Japanese shrines, and
How much of it is outside?
a lot of it is outside. And yeah, it's just like there's great food. I got some good poke there, chilled outside to eat it. Great airport. There's not a lot of airports where I'm like, this was an excellent experience, but this one I was like, this should be illegal. Like, this feels like I shouldn't be allowed to do this.
You should be having a nice time at the airport.
No, the airport's like one of the top 10 worst places to be, and the Honolulu airport, just excellent.
Nice.
So anyway, shout out to that airport. But ate lots of poke, had some delicious sushi that I think is worth mentioning purely because it did what I've never experienced with sushi before, which is that it included the pickled ginger in the sushi roll.
Whoa, that sounds great.
And I was like, why has no one thought about this before? And someone did. They were just thousands of miles away in the middle of the ocean.
Yeah.
And so good. Just I feel like the fish, I was eating fish for like the first time, truly.
Did you venture into ahi tuna nachos by chance?
ahi tuna nachos.
Yeah, it's like a thing. It's like poke nachos, and they use like wonton crackers, crisps, if you will.
That sounds amazing. We didn't see that.
No, bummer. Okay, well, next time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Ian. Spam. We went to a food truck called the Musubi Truck and had some delicious spam musubi. Taught other people in my family about what it was. And then also they had extremely good other kinds of musubi with like marinated chicken and that was like stuffed in between like rice and the nori, like fried chicken and all sorts of crazy musubi variants that was not the spam musubi, and it came with this really delicious like buttery ginger sauce. Oh my god, people of Hawaii are just incredible cuisine. Like everything tasted so good.
Man.
And
puka dog. You got to talk about the puka dog.
This is where things get interesting, right?
No, they get interesting.
So the puka dog. When I was looking for food that was nearby, because we were staying at a place called Poipu Beach, there is, which by the way, there was like these really cool like sea turtles that like hang out on that beach, and we got to like, just like all hours of the day, just like go see them and hang out, and it's really cool. So the puka dog is a local hot dog stand thing, kind of right on the beach. They have like a little like liquor store too, where you can like buy a beer or whatever, and then they have the puka dogs. And I need to take a screenshot of this and send it to you, because when I was initially looking and just, finding this website, it described not just what the puka dog was, but provided a diagram to show the quote-unquote anatomy of the puka dog.
So we're going to take a fucking anatomy lesson here.
Yeah. This is where I was like, okay, they're not messing around here. Like, they know that, like, they like know that they're changing the game physically, conceptually. And they need to spell it out for us, because it's not apparent to you if I just say puka dog what that means. But after this, if you ever hear the phrase puka dog, you'll have no doubt in your mind what is happening.
All right.
Wow, that's quite a
Am I allowed to
image
look at
that we
this?
got here.
I feel like if I open this on my work Wi-Fi, I would get like arrested immediately.
It is being like unwrapped. Like Mark Summers is over here like peeling it off layer by layer kind of situation.
It's the anatomy.
Called a puka for the hole that's baked in from one side. Holy shit.
So they take a Hawaiian bun, right? They poka the hole, the puka through the Hawaiian roll.
So does
not all the way through. This is very important. So there is like an end, a heel to like the Hawaiian roll.
It's what distinguishes it from pigs in a blanket.
Yeah.
That distinguishes it from pigs in a blanket.
Which makes it not disgraceful? Is that how we describe pigs in a blanket?
Humiliating.
Humiliating.
It makes it not as humiliating.
Puka dog, parentheses, respectful.
Exactly. Respectful. Because then, so like you have the bun, you put in the hot dog, which fits perfectly within the hole, with just enough room to start adding in pumps of sauces, including spicy lemon garlic sauce from various ranges of spicy, to fruit relish, which include pineapple, banana, coconut, papaya, among others, and then a passion fruit mustard. So all of that gets pumped in around the hot dog within the bun, and then it's served to you, single hand style. And it's straight. It's just like the most perfect hot dog eating experience I've ever had. And I'm not joking.
So
I can't. I'm not gonna fuck with you, okay?
Yeah.
This was the best hot dog experience I've ever had. I'm not fucking with you.
Okay, fuck New York. Fuck Chicago.
Yes.
It's all about
yes.
the puka dog.
Yes.
What?
Absolutely.
This says a proprietary sausage or veggie dog is nestled.
What was their proprietary
what is
sausage like? Yeah.
Well, in practice, it was a Polish dog. It was a Polish
Oh,
sausage.
it doesn't use like island hogs.
Is it kosher?
They didn't explain whether they used island hogs or not.
Is that like the jungle fowl?
Yeah, exactly. Well, there's wild boars that like roam around Kauai. That's a thing.
There are wild boars. There are jungle fowl in Kauai as well, which I fell in love with and miss since coming back. But to answer your question, it's not. It is like they gave you two options: Polish dog or veggie dog.
All right.
Proprietary. I can't say whether it's proprietary or not.
Okay.
Ignore the giant Nathan's label in the back.
Yes.
This
So
is
I guess my question, maybe I misheard it. So they took a Hawaiian roll and just like carve it out and like stick it in there, or do they bake it around the dog?
They puka'd the hole.
Okay, they cook it the whole. Okay.
And then they put the sausage in there. The bun was like fresh. It wasn't
Okay.
like baked or toasted or anything like that. It was
Alright.
like very fluffy, freshly poked.
Okay.
right.
Freshly poked. Excellent.
So other highlights from so this was that was just like I needed to share that with you because like
Incredible.
it is the best glizzy I've ever had.
Pacific Glizzy.
Because not only is it structurally sound and you don't get any messiness or have to turn your body like contort yourself to try to enjoy this hot dog, but it also has some of the best sauces I've ever had on a hot dog and surprising flavors. So that was the highlight of the trip cuisine wise.
Yeah.
Innovative, delicious.
Excellent. So, well, I'm glad to hear that. It's been a while since I went to Hawaii. It's been 15 years now. That's upsetting. And the food that I remember from going there is one, lots of pineapple. I don't know if you had any pineapple fun experience kind of situation. Two, lots of fish, obviously. And three, barbecue. Get that hog, you throw it in a pit, and they cook it in that pit, and then they just bring out the hog to you, and you like cut off like chunks of meat from it and eat it, kind of situation.
I didn't experience that, but we did get multiple Kahlua pork.
Nice.
Which is, yes, delicious. Sweet, goes great with pineapple.
There you go. Fuck yeah. Anyway.
They're just really like they're fucking with something different over there. It's like it's kind of crazy how good the food was there. Also, Hawaiian Sun juices, incredible. Like I didn't even want to drink anything else, honestly. Hawaiian Sun is the brand of like canned juices, and they do like like passion fruit, orange juice, guava, also known as Pog. They do like passion fruit juices and all sorts of just. They did a lychee soda or juice that was like incredible. Just
wow.
So many good flavors. Ugh, now I can't like enjoy regular food. I will say though, everything was super expensive.
Yes.
That is how
it made me realize like, well, it's relative. Expense wise.
Yeah, that do how islands be, I guess, unless you're like Great Britain or something, where it's like, yeah, Hawaii's not really close to anything in the ocean kind of situation. It's like basically it until you get to like Japan and like Australia kind of situation. Yeah. So you gotta pay the cost on that front, but. On the other hand, you get to sit on a beach with some turtles while you're eating your puka dog. So that's the upside on this situation. I must know, Ben. Did you try any surfing lessons? Any snorkeling?
Oh no, that didn't end up happening.
Okay.
But my dad did go snorkeling for the first time and was like, he did it for like an hour straight. He was like so into it and was like so excited. So that was really cool. Yeah.
Excellent.
Ian.
How much is a puka dog?
How much is a puka dog is an excellent question.
What's it gonna run me?
It's gonna run you $11.
Holy fuck.
Island
So
dog.
that feels like a lot because we live
just
in this world.
Getting
but
pukaed over here.
in relative to everything else and every other place that you could get prepared food, like anything less than $20 is like a steal.
Wow.
It was really expensive over there.
Wow.
Things were really expensive. So, like, you know, being able to find like something food for less than $15 was like, oh hell yeah, like. And it was a good sized hot dog too. I was wondering if I was gonna have to come back for seconds because famously hot dogs, I feel like it's not like one isn't enough.
Right.
But I was fully satisfied with my $11 puka dog purchase.
I mean, I think at a certain point, obviously, you know, values relative, all that kind of stuff. But if after whatever meal you're having, you're like, oh, that was so good, like it's okay if it costs $11, even if it is just a hot dog.
But it's clearly, as we've discussed, not just a hot dog.
Yeah, it was so much more.
Uh-huh.
In fact, it was the best hot dog if you've been paying attention.
Yes. Yeah. Fuck New York. Fuck Chicago. I bet
saying.
Sonic the Hedgehog would dump his chili dogs in the trash for this
Yeah.
one.
Oh yeah.
All right. Well, let's segue into the main meal of the show. Here on I Choose You, each week we randomly and select a new Pokemon to cook and eat. We share those recipes with one another and then vote in a manner that some would say is very democratic to see who has the best recipe. We are right on the top of our journey through the Paldea region in Season 9 of I Choose You. And this week, we're dipping into the fucked up things on the high end of the Pokedex numbers, where it's like, here's an old Pokemon, but it's wacky now. It's kind of goofy. It's, you know, some might say it took a trip to Spain and back kind of situation. I won't stop talking about it.
I was thinking more like time travel.
Yes,
that was the thing that really stood out to me. in the
That is true.
description
This
for
one is from the past. The Pokemon this week is Flutter Mane, which is the Paradox Pokemon, the Paradox version of Misdrevious, according to the Bulbapedia page. I read it, even though I've not played these games. I'm doing my research. I'm being a good host. So it's kind of like it's kind of like mid-tier legendary kind of situation of an older type of Pokemon.
Let's read this. Entry because I do think it's fucking wild.
It's
honestly.
very bizarre.
Like, it's not like I also don't really know this Pokemon very much, but like the first paragraph of the Bulbapedia page, fine, it's like a physical description. Then immediately it says in an article from a May issue of Occulture magazine, which is an in-universe Pokemon magazine, apparently.
Yes, about the occult, about ghost type Pokemon.
Yeah. It is stated that Flutter Mane's name was taken from a strange creature with a matching description appearing in the Scarlet Book. It is said to float around the sky at night with long hair, writhing about it. According to the magazine, why is it? It's like it's quoting the magazine.
The magazine holds the lore.
Yes.
Eyewitness accounts initially described it resembling a giant Misdrevious, albeit a highly fierce and aggressive one, and that some believe it to be a ghost of a pterosaur from a long-gone era.
This looks nothing like a pterodactyl. It's so funny that that's in the description. It's just a Misdrevious with like variation. That'd be like if you saw a Misdrevious, I was like, yeah, it's the ghost of a dinosaur.
But apparently it was brought to the depths by a time machine built by one of the professor characters in the games.
Going wild.
It's like, okay. I mean, like...
Did AI write this?
Yeah. Yeah. It's funny because, again, I have not played Scarlet and Violet. I've been canceled for this opinion. But from what I understand, encountering these quasi-legendary Pokemons in the game is kind of like one of the kind of quests that you're put on as like one of the things that you can do in like the world and explore it. So it's definitely kind of like in that niche where it's like they wanted to create kind of like boss characters that you can encounter and kind of fine. And this kind of slots into that. So it's a beefed up version of an older type of Pokemon with a really weird backstory that does not make any sense, and its name also doesn't make any sense. What are we doing here? And I'm going to say this. I think Scarlet and Violet, generally, they are pretty good on the pun names for the Pokemon in this generation. Like, they have a concept, they have a punny name, and then it's executed upon fairly well. Kind of situation.
I'm going to push back on that statement as somebody who read through all the names to make a rap using Pokemon names.
True.
Some of them are just fucking buck wild. They don't make... it's just like 3 nouns put together. Spaces in between them. Like, you think it's a
this
sentence.
one is weird. The fact that there's a space in between is kind of messing with
Do you
me.
think that the U.S. translator of this specific Pokemon was a fan of Gucci Mane?
Ian, I thought the same thing. I can't deny it when I was thinking about it.
So in the Bulbapedia page, under name origin section, it's the shortest name origin section for any Pokemon I've ever seen. It says Flutter Mane is literally Flutter Mane. And I just think that's so...
Literally.
That's just salty. Someone was writing that and was just like, I don't have fucking time for this shit. It literally is this.
Yeah, its
Don't
name
read into
doesn't
it.
mean anything. Don't think about it. But my point is that I think like in this generation, like Flamigo, it's a flamingo and it's amigo because it's in Spanish. That's pretty good. Like,
that's a really good one.
It's just like I get the joke immediately. Like, it's just there. And it's not overly tortured, but I understand what you're saying, Ian. The some of the ones like that are in the high numbers. Once we get to the 990s kind of situation, you're like, what the fuck are they talking about? Iron Bundle, which is a fucked up version of
Bundle.
excuse me, of it's like a robot version of now the name's fucking I'm losing it. Delibird.
This is great.
Jesus Christ. I apologize for that. Anyway, yeah. So what's our Flutter Mane recipes? Ben, you won last week. Tell us.
All right. My recipe, since I'm going first, I prepared 2 because I kind of figured one of them was going to get taken, but I forgot that I won. My recipe is a flutter mutter.
Like a nutter butter?
Like a fluffer nutter
there you go.
Fucking asshole.
Wow.
Boom.
God.
Oh my God.
Boom goes the dynamite.
Might as well just pack it in,
That
boys.
is so out of left field. I would have never guessed.
God.
Really?
No.
What's
Well,
funny?
it's kind of an East Coast thing, is what I realized.
Yeah, it is. It's a Massachusetts thing, in fact.
Oh, okay. Do you want to, since it's like kind of part of your lore, do you want to like explain what a fluffer nutter is?
No.
Ben, you fucking stole the thunder.
Now
you've got to. Your punishment is you've got to explain what
You
it
have
is.
sucked the wind out of my sails so hard.
Ian,
I'm so sorry.
Is the person you're pretending to be this week the person who invented the fluffer nutter?
It was.
Okay.
Emphasis on, I said was.
Oh, now you're
Rest
no
in peace.
longer.
Yeah.
All right, Ben, give it to us. What's a fluffer nutter?
Okay, well, so fluffer nutter is like a I feel like any sort of description of this is going to be judged really harshly, but it's a very simple sandwich.
Oh, simple.
Oh.
Is that what you think?
Ben, I like that you're on the receiving end of this one instead of me this week.
Hey, everyone's got to take it sometimes.
Yes.
So yeah, it's basically just
It's just
marshmallow fluff, peanut butter, white bread. I'm talking like Little Debbie, Wonder Bread, and you just slap them together, just like a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, except without jelly and instead using marshmallow fluff spread, which is made through a combination of corn syrup, sugar, dried egg whites, and vanillin. And I think in this situation, you would mix in the Flutter Mane essence. I feel like you can kind of like absorb or boil it down into a gooey marshmallow-like texture that you can whip into your marshmallow fluff. And then you, slap it on some fluffy bread, put some peanut butter on the other side, crunchy or smooth. I think crunchy could be kind of nice because in this situation you got a lot of gooey materials. So, and then, just slap that shit together, put it in the kids' lunch, and call it a day, you know? Good old Flutter Mutter.
And I've got a couple of questions that maybe Ian can help answer as the resident northeaster of the show. So it's a New England tradition, often served in school lunches in Massachusetts. This is what the kids eat for school lunch.
Let me fill you in on some information.
Okay.
Fluffernutter is not just a sandwich.
It's a way of life.
Have you guys, Ben, have you even had one?
I have, yes.
And yet you have so little to say about it. You're really...
What do you mean? I just told you how it's made.
You really nestled your proprietary sausage in my puka hole with this fucking one. God.
Well, okay, so I did learn one other thing that maybe I can share that I think is important, because when I was in Maine is when I had it, and the marshmallow fluff apparently is used in making Maine's official state treat, the whoopie pie.
Yep, so...
Ian's unimpressed.
God damn it. The fluff invented like around World War One. Okay, a little before World War One.
Okay, before World War One.
In
Is this why the war happened?
It is. Invented in Massachusetts, I believe right next to the town that Ed comes from.
One of
Shout
our
out to
listeners.
Ed.
out.
Yeah.
And I wanted to hit you with some of the Wikipedia page for the Fluffernutter.
Oh, all right.
Okay.
Namely the history section. You see, marshmallow cream was invented by Archibald Query.
Okay.
But then Emma Curtis, who I am, invented snowflake marshmallow cream a few years later.
What is
Or earlier,
snowflake
excuse me.
cream?
And during World War One, invented the Fluffernutter and called them Liberty sandwiches.
Oh.
Now, consider this. In June 2006, Massachusetts State Senator Jarrett Barrios proposed legislation restricting the serving of Fluffernutter sandwiches in public schools after learning that his son was served Fluffernutters on a daily basis at his elementary school.
Wow. And better for it, really.
Yeah.
He drafted an amendment to the junk food bill which would limit Fluffernutters to once a week. The proposal was criticized as trivial and overly intrusive legislation, while his supporters pointed to concerns over childhood obesity. Among the people who defended the Fluffernutter at the time was Massachusetts State Representative Kathy Ann Reinstein, who's blah, 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 blah. She claimed she would, quote, fight to the death for fluff.
Oh, whoa.
And
Holy
supported
shit.
legislation that would make the Fluffernutter the official state sandwich.
Oh, shit. The official state sandwich.
Did it pass? Did this happen?
The measure failed, and Reinstein tried again unsuccessfully in 2009.
Wow.
Whoa.
This person's staked their whole political career
To
on
the
the
death.
Fluffernutter.
Yeah. I guess my question is, inventions from Massachusetts that have greatly impacted society, would you say the Fluffernutter is greater or lesser than basketball?
Let me answer that with this next quote coming from the popular culture section. The term Fluffernutter has sometimes been used disparagingly to describe something that lacks substance and has minimal to no cultural value.
Except it's our America's freedom sandwich.
Yes.
Whoa, that's That's tough.
Yeah, you make your state sandwich something with little to no cultural value. That's a rough one.
Oh, that's
It's
okay.
so fucking good. It's such a. When I was at UMass, they had these they had fresh containers of peanuts, and you could like hand grind into peanut butter, fresh, from the nut to your mouth, if you sat underneath it.
right.
And as somebody like a lot of firsts at UMass, one of them, PB&J, as you guys know,
Yeah.
First PB&J.
had never had a PB&J until my freshman year of college.
Yep.
Whoa.
Followed shortly thereafter by my first Fluffer Nutter.
You're like, what else can we put in between peanut butter and white bread?
I ate one of the. I was like an elementary kid, whose dad was a state senator, because I was eating that motherfucker every day. And I
We're
too
eating
would.
like state senators tonight, honey.
Yeah.
Yeah, I too would fight to the death for the fluff, because, boy, just like you can't beat the fish in Massachusetts, you can't beat fresh peanut butter, hand cranked, and spread over with marshmallow cream, fresh from the teat of Massachusetts.
Marshmallow.
And looking this up even further, some other uses, as Google AI notes, has been made into candy, ice cream, candles, and has even gone to space.
Ian, did you use these sandwiches as candles? Like, oh, big storm came by. I gotta light my sandwich up just to read by the night.
You can use them. You can insulate your home. You can put out
Honestly,
fires.
I think this outstrips basketball as the most important contribution Massachusetts has given to society.
I've also been to the basketball museum in Springfield, Massachusetts, and there is a glass case with a basketball in it, and there's a hole that you can stick your hand in to try and like palm the ball, because there, it like it has a little plaque talking about players that like their hand size is so
hands.
they can just like palm a basketball, and like you feel so stupid trying to pick that thing up with one hand. Naturally, there should be a Fluffer Nutter museum where there's a Fluffer Nutter in a glass case, and you have to try and.
You stick your hand in it, and you're like,
The sandwich is too big. I can't pick it up with one hand.
What if it's a sphere? What if it's a sphere? It's a globe.
Oh, no.
God damn.
Anyway, well, look, I don't think I've ever had this specifically, despite having family that lives in Massachusetts. I will say,
Wait, okay. Sorry, Jeremy, before we move on, I just, because you told that story and now I really want to know which one is better in your opinion.
a
Because you don't
basketball or a
have-
sandwich.
No. PB&J or Fluffer Nutter.
Well, I was
because
gonna say I've never had a Fluffer Nutter, per se, that I'm aware of, kind of situation. So
great. Ian, which one's better? Because you don't have PB&J like nostalgia to compare it to.
It's true.
Like probably the most of us do.
I think a Fluffer Nutter is better, but that's it's
you heard
hard
it
for me.
here.
It is hard for me to say that, because I think a PB&J is objectively healthier,
Okay.
not by
And-
much, but yes, a little bit.
and it also has more variation, right? You can switch
Yeah.
out the jam, the jelly
True.
aspect.
They don't make flavored fluff, marshmallow fluff.
But having experienced the sandwiches basically like at the same time from like conception, I in my like in the short time I've been like reborn, right?
Yeah, okay.
I have more nostalgia for the Nutter.
The Fluffer
Right,
Nutter.
okay.
Yeah,
Like,
gotcha.
you love-
I eat
you love
PB&Js
to
pretty
nut.
frequently. Yeah, and I haven't nutted in New Mexico like since coming back to New Mexico. So
Yeah.
I think it holds like a there's more space in my heart for the Fluffer Nutter.
Gotcha.
Excellent.
Wow.
Well, I think my recipe this week, I kind of wanted to go in a different direction, because Mischievous is based on mythologically a banshee, and I think we talked about that in our Mischievous episode of I Choose You, and if I'm remembering correctly, now don't call me like crazy, that one of you, and I think it was probably Ben, did the cocktail known as a banshee for that episode. If I'm making this up, if I fucking AI fake memoried my past right now, I apologize.
I don't think
remember
we did a Mischievous episode.
Yes. What?
I don't think we did a Mischievous episode.
We talked about it in something. Maybe it was a finale. That's probably.
Oh, I think it was a finale.
Yes,
we definitely talked about this cocktail.
Yes, because we did talk about this at some point. And the Banshee cocktail is like vodka and banana cream liqueur. So
that sounds familiar.
Yes, yeah. that's what that was. So I was like, okay, I don't want to repeat that. So I was just sitting around. I was sitting in a corner thinking, as I am wont to do when coming up with recipes for I Choose You, and it came to me like a fucking a bolt of lightning struck me. Zeus himself gave me this wisdom, which was, what about a quiche Flutter Mane? That's right. We're gonna make a quiche Lorraine with Flutter Mane.
Nice.
Oh.
Nice.
So quiche Lorraine is kind of like the standard quiche that you can get kind of situation. It's basically egg, bacon, cheese, spinach in a nice crust for your breakfast. Instead of bacon, or you know what? Based on how the Flutter Mane looks, let's say instead of spinach, because it's kind of got that green texture to it and style. That one thing on its head that's green. I think we can snip that off and use it as the spinach replacement in our recipe this week. So again, quiche Lorraine, pretty straightforward. Cook your bacon beforehand. Cut up some onion. Get some Swiss cheese. Get some flour. Get some eggs. And get your not mischievous. I apologize. Your Flutter Mane spinach introductions. You're gonna set your pie dough overnight. So the recipe I'm looking at recommends you make you use a pre-baked pie crust kind of situation, pre-made pie crust. But you can make your own pie crust if you have the will to really get that extra flaky goodness, which I'm sure we all want. So you get your pie crust. You mix your fillings together. Make sure your eggs are beat. All that kind of stuff. You pour it into the pie crust. You bake it in the oven, and you want to make sure you take it out and let it set a little bit so it doesn't like completely fall apart when you cut into it. But you don't want it to cool completely. So maybe you have like a nice like warm top that you can put it in, and then you bring it to the table and you cut into it, and a nice bit of steam comes out. But imagine, because of the magic of this Pokemon, it looks like the Flutter Mane as the steam is releasing from the quiche. And now that's how you know you're going to have a magical breakfast. And that's my recipe. Quiche Flutter Mane. Yes, delicious. Ian.
Firstly, you guys are really just like taking a shit on the foods I enjoy. Ben's like, yeah, it's just pretty simple sandwich. Nothing to it. And then Jeremy's like, yeah, pretty standard quiche. Just normie shit.
Well, really I'm recommending it because it's good.
It's really the missionary of quiche.
Okay, let's talk about this though. I don't know if there's any other quiche that has like just a name.
What do you mean just a name?
like quiche Lorraine, or isn't that what it's called?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
What's the?
I don't know if any other quiche has like a title outside of like, I don't know, broccoli quiche or something.
Quiche by any other name.
Yeah.
It's just Lorraine.
Yeah.
Like, it's pretty name brand quiche, and that's good though.
It says a well-known variant is quiche Lorraine on Wikipedia.
Well known.
It's a well-known.
Well enjoyed.
Yes.
By
well known.
My second, would you consider serving it with like cherry tomatoes to make like the necklace?
Ooh, that does sound good. I'm not going to do cherry tomatoes though. This situation, but tomatoes are a good idea. I think I'm going to do like dried tomatoes in this situation because I think
sun-dried?
Sun-dried tomatoes, because I think that'll work better in the texture of the quiche.
A little chewy.
Yeah,
I like it.
You're steering me further away from this
What?
quiche, but that's okay.
I like it. I'm a fan.
I forgot Ben doesn't like sun-dried tomatoes.
Oh, you don't? That's right. We've talked about this.
But I like that when Jeremy said dried tomatoes, there was no reaction. But then I said sun dried, and Ben was like, "Oh,
Sun dried.
God, the fucking sun got to
By
them.
the sun.
I'm out of here. But that's my recipe. It's simple, but I'm not in not a bad way. In a way that is enjoyable for a breakfast delight.
A breakfast delight.
A breakfast delight. And that's my recipe. Evan.
Lovely. Well, also had to hit it with the puns this week because we're making some. This is a little bit involved, so I'll take us through. Flutter Mane salted butter cane bagels.
Ooh.
Okay.
So yeah,
Okay, what's involved with
explaining is needed here. That we're
Yes.
okay. We're a little. It's a little out of season, but we're fresh off of Christmas, right? And this is traditionally something you'd make maybe more toward the Christmas season because they are in the shape of candy canes. So basically, you've got like here. Let me pull up a little photo. So
I've seen these.
You're twisting bagel dough and then shaping it into like a cane, right?
Ooh.
So you've got one strand that's like regular color, and then one in the candy cane case is red. But I'm thinking we can get some dye from our Flutter Mane to kind of give it like a purpley vibe, right?
Purple green kind of situation.
Yeah. So exactly, and so yeah, basically you're just wringing out this ghost for its color and maybe a little bit of flavor, but we don't want to like overpower the bagel, right? Like it could be like subtle undertones of ghostliness. Yeah. So make bagels dough as you do with some water, some yeast, some honey, some flour, salt, butter, egg, baking soda, all that good stuff. Knead it, stretch it, do the twirly twirl, twist it into a cane. The piece de resistance is some garlic butter that's going to go on top. Got to keep away the ghosts with the garlic, right?
Yeah.
Almost.
Are ghosts afraid of garlic? Is that canon?
It's vampirical looking. I don't know.
It's vampire related. Vampire adjacent.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
Anyway, that you brush your garlic salty butter on top, and then it's a nice little treat. But yes, sure, it's not December anymore, but it doesn't have to be. Ian,
Was there you said sugar in the title?
no, this is the Flutter Mane salted butter cane.
Oh, got it. For some
It's
reason I heard
salted.
sugar cane.
No, that'd be good, but
Yeah.
unfortunately,
I mean, if it's I don't know how well it'd work out, but I think you could do a sweet bagel in some circumstance. Not a donut, but like kind of like do a bagel, and maybe if you like bake like larger cubes of sugar into it, I think you could make that work.
oh, you got,
Jeremy,
like,
have you never
pockets
had a
of,
sweet bagel?
like
Well, I mean-
cinnamon raisin?
Oh yes, yeah, I've had a cinnamon raisin bagel before. Yes, but I was thinking more of like it's more dessert coated than breakfast.
Like
coated,
close
perhaps.
to like a cinnamon roll, but in
Yes.
a bagel. Like you get pockets of sugar. Interesting.
it explodes.
Interesting.
Have you guys had a chocolate bagel before?
No.
Yes.
No.
But
Oh,
not
man.
like ooey gooey chocolate, but it is like brown and kind of tastes
Chocolate
like
bagels fuck so hard.
chocolate. Whoa,
Brother.
had
Oh.
brother.
Well, I really like the idea of like bagel dough being used for something non-bagel shaped. What's that thing
Bialy?
that's like bialy?
Oh yes, yes.
They're
No
pretty
hole.
bagel shaped though.
Those are bagel shaped, but not
But
complete
different.
bagel.
Yeah.
They're kind of
These
like
ones are like double
Right.
helix.
yeah, DNA.
Yeah.
Bagel DNA.
Dino DNA.
Bagel DNA.
Yeah, there you go. All right. Let's review our recipes. I don't know how we're going to split the difference between Ben and Ian. Let's
Just
say,
Passion.
Don't even count. I don't even.
let's
Don't
say
even count. Fluffernutter is so good.
Are you
I
saying
think-
you two cancel each other out? You're
No, I'm just saying I am not G Unit. I do not.
okay.
I think that we both count, and it's a matter of who has the best connection to it.
I think you could argue for performance. Who gave the best Fluffernutter performance?
Right.
When pitching
And the
their
Golden
recipes?
Globe goes too.
Yeah, and I mean, there's definitely an argument that Ian sold it more. I mean, he did bring up like state history, his museum, all that kind of stuff.
Right.
And so we'll see. Ben and Ian both presented the Flutter Mane, Flutter Nutter kind of situation. I presented the Flutter Quiche Lorraine, and from Evan, what were the exact words? It looks like a candy cane, and it's a bagel.
The salted butter cane.
Salted butter
bagel.
cane. So everyone, please proceed to the voting area. And we're all voting now. And then Ben is going to tell us the results of the vote.
I can. Ian won this episode with 2 votes. Evan got a vote, and I got a vote.
Nice.
I voted for Ben. I was like, yeah, it's a great fucking, it's a great idea.
Fucking sandwich.
I couldn't have thought of better myself.
Now, not to be rude to the Fluffernutter as we just were, but if I'm in Massachusetts, I think I would prefer to get like a lobster roll, if I'm being honest with myself.
Have you ever had a lobster roll Maine style? Or not Maine style, Massachusetts style, where they put the Fluffernutter down first and then the lobster?
Yeah,
Because I think that would be the more authentic experience.
Yeah, just mix everything together.
And then you
Except
put
for-
Worcestershire sauce on top.
Yes.
When we're together again, we'll get some fluff and some peanut butter. And
Let's do it.
No.
I'm in.
Go crazy.
What kind of bread? You said like the whitest white bread imaginable.
Wonder bread.
Yeah.
It's part of it. I
Yeah.
don't think you can even toast it really if you want the
Oh,
full
no, you
experience.
don't.
It's just like
Are you kidding me?
I Googled
Fuck
it
you.
and did see like a toasted version that looked pitiful.
pitiful.
Because like the white bread is soft, like the texture, like you sink your teeth into it.
It's kind of moist. It's like
It's
it's pillowy. Maybe is a better word.
Oh, it's pillowy.
You want to
alright.
sleep on this?
Yeah.
Lovely.
Well, we settled that one.
We fucking did it, guys. We're an efficient governing body, I'll say. Now, let's move on to the next section of the show, where we pick next week's Pokemon. It's called Pick'emon. And Evan, I still have to memorize these numbers, but I believe it's 906 to 1,025.
All right. Let's see.
It is crazy that there's over 1,000 of them.
All right. 966.
Oh, so close. 966. 966. This is a good one. It's. I was reading through these earlier. It's a Revaroom. It's like a motorcycle or a little car.
Nice.
Oh yeah.
Ian was just talking about this.
It's like a car. I mean, this generation does have the fun thing where the legendaries are just bikes that you ride on across the environment. They're like your friend kind of situation.
Isn't it kind of crazy? Like, I was just thinking about the 1,000 Pokemon thing. Do you think you guys could name 1,000 real animals?
Well, if
Okay.
one of them's a car, yeah.
Mustang.
Do they all have hilarious names?
Well, that's the thing, right? Like, rhino, hippo, dog, cat. Like, you probably get through like
It's like 6.
after like the first 30 of them, you have to get into like, Dilbert's big titty bird or whatever. Like you can get like really specific with the types of things. You know what I mean?
Right.
Tits are
Yeah, no,
types
it's
of
true.
birds. Yeah.
true.
Whereas like with the Pokemon, it's like every single, with the exception of this one, like Flutter Mane, they just like drew the same Pokemon. They're like, it looks like it, but it's not. Like
That's true. That's
otherwise, they're
very true.
usually
it's
pretty
bigger.
unique.
Yeah. I see. I get what you're saying. Where you couldn't just say like dog. You'd have to like get into like. Well, you could say dog, but you'd have to say house dog because breeds of dogs are not technically they're the same species of animal. So
Checkmate.
Yeah, checkmate atheist. So you would just say dog, house dog, but then you'd have to say wolf as another one, for
Right,
example.
but there ain't 1,000 of them.
Yeah. Well, there's thousands of animals. There's thousands different types of animals.
But you couldn't name like I bet I could name more Pokemon than animals. And
All right.
that's fucking.
It sounds like our next live stream is just me with a big list of animals.
Couldn't
Got a
build an ark
whiteboard
big
behind
enough.
me, and I just write until I can't think of any more animals.
I think it's I see what you're going for here. I think it's kind of like that phenomenon where it's like, you know, you could, like, as a humans, that you can only have like a certain amount of actual friends, and then this whole like Facebook friends, like I got 1,000 Facebook friends, but like you can't actually have that many friends. I think it's kind of a similar concept.
Yeah, it was
where,
like something like you can only hold 300 personal relationships at a time or something.
right. It's like, it's kind of similar to that, where like those 1,000 Pokemon exist, but I can only hold probably 300 of them in my head at any given point.
That's probably like how old people in Pokemon feel about like the Pokedex. They're like,
Yeah.
we're not supposed to know this much about that many Pokemon.
Do you think
I
there's
stopped paying
like,
attention after they added new ones, woke ones.
You see, there's the thing is like back in like the olden times and like ancient, I don't know, Greco-Roman period or whatever. It's like, yeah, there's like 6 animals that we have to keep track of. Like they thought ants were the size of giants and like dug mines kind of situation. So like there's like only a few that you have to like worry about kind of situation. But they kept adding them, and you got all these assholes coming up, and they're like, did you know there's like a whale and it's really big? And they're like, fuck off kind of situation.
David Attenborough just
Yeah.
constantly every year pumping out new things that we have to hold
New
our mental
animals.
Pokedex.
Just,
Yep.
You think he's gonna die, but he's like, I found a new animal. And I'm
There's
going
more
to-
animals out there doing
It's got-
stuff.
Yeah, it's going to mate, and then it's going to get eaten by another animal that's going to mate after eating it.
Season 50 of Earth.
And you won't remember any of this shit.
Yeah.
I still remember fucking Planet Earth and that bird that like jumped around. That I never forgot that.
That bird.
Yeah,
See,
you know what
if-
I'm talking about? It's like black and has like a blue thing on it, and it like jumps around in its mating dance. You know what I'm talking about.
Oh,
Yep.
yeah.
If it had a Pokemon name, we'd remember it even better.
Yeah, I would remember the name of the bird, except now it's the bird from Planet Earth.
If it was called Flutter Mane, I'd remember
Yes,
that shit.
Yeah.
Okay, anyway, now is for the submissions portion. It's called Whale Lord's Mail Horde, where we read your email sent into ichoosepod@gmail.com. We're recording this episode early, so we don't have any emails, but ichoosepod@gmail.com, ICHEWSPOD@gmail.com. Thank you so much. Now let's do the plugging round. Tell us where we can find you on the internet. Ben.
You can find me on the old internet at Ben C. Montoya on Instagram and thefearandnow.tumblr.com.
Excellent. Ian.
You can find me at Musician Davis on Instagram. I got some bass videos up. I got some portraits of me if you want to stare at my face while listening to this.
Excellent. Evan.
You can find me on Threads at e.vanaubrey. I'm around.
Excellent. You can follow me on Blue Sky at Velocity Prime 1, Tumblr Velocity Prime No 1, and you can check out my writing at the-avocado.org. I'm also going to do a minor plugging round. Related to our Discord is I'm starting a book club. It's called the Santa Fe Society and Foundation for Speculative Fiction. It does meet in person in the town I live in, Santa Fe, but if you want to just have like a somewhat scheduled reading environment and other people to talk about on Discord about certain books, join up, and we'll gladly take people to be like, oh, I think Philip K. Dick is a dick kind of situation, which he was.
Nice.
But that's
That's the kind of discourse you can expect.
that's the deep topics we will dive into in the book club kind of situation. But yes, check that out. The Santa Fe Society and Foundation for Speculative Fiction. The Discord is called Speculative Santa Fe. All right. That wraps up the show. Let me tell you about it. This has been I Choose You, the podcast about cooking and eating Pokemon. You can find us on your favorite podcast apps, including Apple Podcasts, YouTube Music, or Spotify, or your podcast catcher of choice. If you like our show, give us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify to help us go up the ranks. If you want more I Choose You goodness, check out our social media pages, I Choose Pod on Blue Sky, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, Threads, and Tumblr. If you want to be a part of the I Choose You community, join the Discord. The I Choose You Discord has fellow choosies. You can submit recipes, talk with fellow fans, and participate in community events. Hopefully we'll have another one up soon. That's the I Choose You Discord. Last but not least, head on over to our official website, ichooseyou.menu. ichooseyou.menu has a full episode archive and merch store for your perusal. That's ichooseyou.menu. And this has been the show, and I've been your host and Alton Brown of the group, Jeremy Zelick.
It's been your friend on this show, Ben Montoya.
Ian Davis, your Emma Curtis.
And Evan Aubrey.
To all the choosies out there in Radioland, in a while, Totodile.
I wanna be the greatest chef, like no one ever was. To cook them is my real test, to taste them is my cause. I will travel across the land, searching far and wide. Each Pokemon to understand the flavor that's inside. I choose you, gotta cook 'em. It's you and me. Ben, Evan, and Jeremy. I choose you. Oh, we're your best friends. In this world we must digest. I choose you, gotta cook 'em all. Our appetite will pull us through. You roast me and I'll roast you. I choose you. Gotta cook 'em all. Gotta cook 'em all. I choose you.